south side is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex. Alright, peace everybody. Cyclonious here. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, sure, brother. DJ Maintain, producer, DJ, social media man. No, just DJ Maintain, people. DJ Maintain.
Bro, it's a pleasure to have you on the platform.
It's a pleasure to be here, bro. Thank you for inviting me, man. I appreciate it.
All good, brother.
Appreciate it, man. 100.
All right, so let's delve into the first aspect that I was thinking about, which is Itch FM.
Yes.
Like, how did you first get into hosting a hip hop radio show on Itch FM? What motivated you to pursue this avenue of sharing music?
Right, that's a great way to start. A great question. So when I went to college, I would come home and I would pick up this radio station that was playing the hip hop I liked.
Right.
And I would do my work to it, and it was Itch FM.
Right.
Fast forward a few years later, I'm coming out of a Slum Village gig in Shoreditch. Someone hands me a flyer. Do you want to be a host on Itch FM? We're coming back. We're going digital. I was just going to put it in my back pocket. My friend who I was with said, yo, your musical knowledge and your taste and the way you do things, you better apply for that. And this is one of those people that they're observant. They don't really speak much, but when they speak, you listen.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. So I put a little 15-minute thing together, and they called me for an interview, bro.
Oh,
it weren't like on the strength of I'm a DJ and I've got a following. They called me for an interview. So if you ever listen to Itch FM, you know, like you always hear like big up the management.
Yeah.
I was interviewed by the management.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
And this says a lot about those guys, that they've never ever wanted to be in the forefront. Oh, that's the brother. Like, you could be next to the brother from Itch. You wouldn't even know.
Okay.
It's him. That's how they carry themselves.
Mystique, yeah.
Yeah. And so they interviewed me, like proper interview, bro. And they just, more so than my DJing skills and my knowledge of music, they liked the person I was.
Okay.
And then off of the strength of that, they gave me 10 to 12 on a Saturday, bro. Prime time. And
there's a lot in it.
Yeah. And that's how I got into it. And there's always a medium I wanted to do, but I just didn't know how I would get the inroad avenue into it. So that's how I got into Itch FM. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to your brethren who gave you the kind of the edge to say go.
Yeah. No,
what sets your show apart from other hip hop radio shows, and how do you curate your playlist to engage your listeners?
Right, you're killing it, bro. But so what sets it apart? I would say that would I say curate? Yeah, I'd say I would curate the show throughout the week leading up to the Saturday, and I wanted to find boom bap influence hip hop from all over the world. So you could be from Norway, you could be from Brazil, you could be from London, you could be from Paris, but if you had that boom bap sound, I would play you on the show. And it was interesting. When I first started the show, it was heavily American.
Right.
Coming towards the end of my show, it was truly a worldwide show. Right. And everybody, it's like everybody's, I don't know if everybody's standards risen or I just found more connections to find the music I needed. But I had people from all corners of the world, and I think that's what set my show apart from other shows. What was the second part of the question, sir?
It was what sets your show apart from other radio shows, and how do you curate your playlist to engage listeners?
Okay, yeah. So that's basically what I did. Yeah, that's how I curate. Yeah, I kind of answered it. Yeah. So yeah, I would. It was a sound of very bigger man as well. Bigger man who was like after me with the People's Court show. We were very stringent on that. We were like, it has to sound like this. Right. You know what I mean? Because people are always, you chat to heads, right? They're like, oh, they don't make hip hop like that. Actually, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They just don't play it on the mediums you're trying to find it.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I would curate, and that's what set my show apart, I believe.
Okay. Dope. Can you do you have any memorable moments or guest appearances on your show that left a lasting impression on you and your audience?
Wow. Do you know what? Okay, there's 2 interviews. First one was the CL Smooth interview. Because it's CL Smooth.
That's right.
We like Mecca and the Soul Brother, main ingredient. Like and CL as a lyricist, and the way his voice sounds is just, you know, it's just up there. So the interview with him was like a standout, because it was management again putting their trust in me. Like they're like, listen, we got a window for CL Smooth, can you do it? They came to me first. They didn't go to anyone else. They came to me because of the way I interview. And I was at work, so I said, yeah, I'll do it on my lunch break. Made my way to the studio, met him, and in my head, I always follow my instincts, or try to. And in my head, I was thinking, don't mention Pete Rock, don't mention Pete Rock, don't mention Reed Rock. Make it about him and what he's doing, and why hasn't he released more solo drones? Why hasn't he, I don't know, worked with Premier? Why he had the standing, you know? So I was trying to get that from the interview, and I think people really respected it. And that kind of put me on the map as an interviewer. People knew I was a dope DJ. They knew I was a dope host. But they now known me as a really good interviewer. That was one. The second one was the interview I did with Joker Star.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're very similar in I think in our humour. And the show is like 2 hours went like that.
Okay.
And I got things out of him. I got another side out of him that people don't really see. You know, like Joker Stars, he's a big presence, right? You see him when he walks in the room, you know he's there.
Okay.
Or if you walk into the room, you see him standing in the corner, he takes up the whole space. But I got to show a different side of him, and everybody that listened to that show were like, oh, we really enjoyed it. It was like we laughed, we were taught something, you know what I mean? It was, yeah. So those are the 2 interviews I feel were really that come to mind when you ask that question.
Dopeness, man. In what ways do you support up and coming hip hop artists and showcase their music on your show?
I support them by playing it. I support them by telling them what I think of it honestly, because I think it's important to do that, because like nobody wants to upset anyone, right? You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, because it's what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's like you're pouring your soul into something and then you're putting it out for people's consumption. It's a hard thing, right? Right. But you've got to be honest, because you don't want to, like, you know, give them a false impression of what their music really is. And so like I'm honest with them. I give them my opinion in accordance to me and my tastes, and I play it on the show, and I'll tell people, and I'll dedicate, like I love name checking songs. Like people do a mix show style and they'll mix 5 songs in a row. Okay. And then they'll chat, but they won't say what they've just played. I always try to say what I've played and where I got it from and how you can engage, and that's how I always did it. And people appreciate it. Till this day, I got artists that holler at me and send me music and ask my opinion on things because of the way I conducted myself with them when doing my show.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I like that, because I'm a person, sometimes, you know, when I do catch the radio station driving along and all that, and certain songs are played, I'm like, yo, what was that? And then, just like you said, 4 or 5 songs go past, and I'll be like, what we doing on Friday, and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, yo, what about that tune? Exactly. And I don't deal with the Shazam and all of that, so maybe I need to get that. I don't know.
Yeah, for real.
Alright, so how do you stay connected with your audience and keep them engaged during the radio broadcast?
So that, oh, bro, you're good at this, you know. So what I used to do, I made another Twitter account, and what I would do on that Twitter account, I would type up before the show everybody's Twitter handle or whatever, and I'd use that to name check their song. So I'd play the tune, go to my Word document, copy, paste it into Twitter, tweet it.
Right.
So, and then retweet it from my personal Twitter, and that would get, so then you're getting the name of the song, and you're getting the artist's Twitter handle. And then from that Twitter handle, on their bio, they may have their Insta or whatever, Facebook, whatever, how they manage it. So that helped a lot. And artists really appreciate that. And then what you get, my personal account's retweeted it, HFM's retweeted it, then you've retweeted it, and then your friends retweeted it.
Yeah.
And then it's got the HFM stream link. So you click on it, oh, I'm going to listen to it. If he's playing that, what else is he playing?
Right.
And then you click on the link, and it got so much engagement in the chat room.
Nice snowball effect, innit?
Exactly, snowball effect. So that really helped. And I always post through the week. Like, my show was on the Saturday, but my playlist was ready from, say, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
And then unless somebody sent me something, like on the Friday, and it was banging, and it was one of those ones where it can't wait till the next week, I would squeeze it in there. Like my brother, big up Tranquil, my brother Tranquil, sick rapper out of Tottenham, he was like that.
Okay.
He's Mr. You only hear me when I'm making tune, you don't see him out, but if he sends you something, it's always fire, always fire. He was one of them. Yeah, he'd always squeeze in the playlist.
Dopeness.
Yeah.
So how has the online platform influenced the way you approach your radio shows and connect with your listeners compared to like the traditional radio broadcasting sort of styles?
See, like, for me, I wasn't really, I suppose, involved in that era of the analog 101.FM and stuff. But the way I would deal with like social media, you just got to be, what's the word? I'd say like present. Like, you've always got to have some form of content which alludes to what you're about as a DJ and a host, and what your show is about. So, you know, if I'm at a gig, I've got to remember to take pictures. Say I'm at a gig and I see you there, I've got to remember I've got to take a picture with you because I play you on my show. Right. I got to make a video of this. I've got to make, you know, I suppose, it's content, Like, you've got to be content driven. Because the minute you're a little bit quiet, you know what I mean, you fall off the algorithm, and then people are like, oh, where's Maintain? Oh, right, where's my Cyclonious? And then you're starting from zero again. And with HFM, it was so easy to create content because I could film myself walking to the studio, chatting about what I'm going to play today. Yeah. I could film the DJ host on before me. Right. So people, oh, he's in the studio, okay, show's coming soon. Film me while, and I used to go live a lot. Right. And I had people listening from Houston, Texas, like people from Russia, like chatting like, yo, da-da-da-da-da. Like, and we all got the same shared experience of hip hop because if you listen to my show, you like boom bap hip hop. So everybody's got a sort of similar shared experience. So I feel like with the social media age, you've just got to like capture as much content as you can. And it doesn't have to be posted the day you capture it. You could structure it, whereas boom, post it gradually, you know. And I feel that's the main difference. Like, analog radio is good now, but people are starting internet radio stations, not breaking any laws or anything like that, and you know, you can get music out there, you can get your show out there, and you can build a following. I wouldn't say fairly quickly, but over time, you definitely can. Some people have just got it like that, and they're building a following after 6 months because it's timing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's timing. You've just hit at the right time. What you're doing is of a high quality, and you've captured people's imagination. You know. Yeah. So that's what I feel. What
are some of the challenges you faced as a radio host on HFM, And how do you how do you overcome them to deliver a top-notch show every time?
The challenges I faced were bucking the trend. So, like, for instance, it's easy to want to grab someone who's popping at the minute just to get eyes on you. But those eyes don't stay for long because you're kind of veering away from what's got you to that point in the first place.
Yeah.
So I found it really hard to, like, you know, just, I would say really hard, but I had to be conscious of who I interviewed on my show and the kind of image I was putting out. What I mean by that is I'm, as you can hear from what I play and my beats, I'm a staunch boom bap guy. So, you know, I had to really, like, keep it like that. And I had offers like, oh, can you interview this person? Oh, can you interview that person? Can you DJ at this gig? Or can you do that? And I had to be no sometimes because it don't fit in with my show. Like, somebody wanted me to interview a comedian once, and then now this comedian's gone on to do big things.
Right.
But it weren't right for my show unless the comedian was a hip hop head, which I knew he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how I could tie him into the show to make it relevant to what my show's always been.
Right, I hear you.
Yeah, so yeah, that was the hardest thing, turning down guests, which would have got me a lot of eyes, yeah, but they wouldn't have stayed for long because that they would have been there for the comedy and not the music.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so yeah, I've been, bro, the amount of artists I've had flung at me, and I've just had to say, nah, it's just like, it just don't fit with my show. I'll just be doing it for doing its sake, and the interview wouldn't be good. You
right,
know?
I get you.
Yeah, that was the hardest thing, for real.
Are there any special segments or themes that you incorporate into your show regularly? And what motivates you to keep them fresh and exciting for your audience?
Wow. So, hearing that question, only one thing springs to mind, and I believe in following your instincts, so I'm going to go with it. So in the chat room, right, it would be popping off some weeks. Like, literally, I'd be DJing, and after DJ, I'd turn, reply to, mix the next tune, reply, like, it popping off, right? Like, banter, people, like, telling me where the sample's from, like, of the track I'm playing, like, just real good energy. And there's people from that chat room I still speak to this day, like, they flew over to London. She's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
And she wanted to link me because of that chat room on my show, but timers were off and I missed her. But what people used to do, they used to put their ones up in the chat room for reload.
Okay.
So I'd be playing a tune, I'd look over and I'd just see ones just going, like, scrolling. So I'll wheel up the tune. So what I started to do, I started to compile the ones. So if a one went up, I'd look at the tune I'm playing, write down. And then by the end of the month, I had a whole show. So I'd call the show the Put Your Ones Up special.
Right.
And then I'd play all the reloads. And that really made people feel like I was engaging with them.
Yeah.
People thought, right, this brother's really...
Yeah,
you know,
I like that concept straight away, man. Yeah, because
it was sick. And then you'd banter people, like, people would be like, ooh, now, whose one was this? Like that, like, the tune's dope. No, stop being a music snob, and we'd crack joke and things like that. But that one, that Put Your Ones Up show was a real, it kind of got me a lot of kudos from my listeners.
Yeah, of course, because I'm saying that they're telling you this is what we like, and when you're giving them a show where you're giving them straight fire, which they say is the fire. That's a great way to interact with them. You know what I mean?
The Put Your Ones Up show was dope.
And you know, it's the way that the current radio stations can interact, you know, compared to back in the day. Like you said, real time, you're mixing and you have to turn around and you're interacting, typing. You never had that. So people have to call in and hopefully get on the line.
Hopefully pick up, or they'll text in.
But that's real time interaction. That is dope.
Yeah.
How do you see the future of hip hop radio evolving? And what role do you envision maybe that you could be playing in the landscape of online hip hop?
The future. Do you know what? I see the future of hip hop like on an online radio sense. Like I see like a marriage between independent artists and radio stations. So for instance, like HFM, right? Like they have a close relationship with artists. So similar to like how, you know, you've got Shade 45 in the US. You know what I mean? Like you think of Shade 45, you think of Griselda freestyles and things like that. And HFM, you think of Kalashnikov because that's how he broke through Kemet Entertainment. And then moving forward, like HFM put on events called Raised by the Mic, where Rest in Peace Ty was on there, and you know, Black Twang and things like that. So I think the marriage of the independent artists and the independent radio station is gonna come closer together, and they're gonna help each other. So, you know, you'll get exclusives on stations like Itch and the West Side and etc. that you won't get on mainstream.
That's right.
You know, like for instance, big up Shorty Blitz. He was trying to get, there's a rapper called Tranquil. He's done music with Odyssey and a bunch of other people, and he's such a sick rapper. And he'd been trying to get him for months. And I was walking down Portobello Road with my boy Mosaic, another sick spoken word rapper, and going to get something to eat. And as we went in, Tranquil was coming out, but I hadn't met him yet, and I've been playing his music. I always wanted to interview him. So I knew he was from West, but I just didn't know, like... Actually, no, I didn't know he was from West, but I knew he either worked around there or was from there. Didn't know he was from Tottenham. And as we're coming out of the restaurant, he goes, "Yo, T, walk on." And I don't know how I knew, but the way he said T, I knew it was Tranquil.
Okay.
And I went, "T as in Tranquil?" And he just looked at me like that. You know what we're like, right? Like,
yeah, like what?
What? Yeah. And I just said to her, and I'm normally the guy that I just kind of, I'm laid back about it.
Yeah.
Like I won't instantly go at you, but because I know he's so recluse, I had to grab him.
Right.
And I got the interview.
Make it happen, yeah.
Yeah, and Shorty was like, "How the hell did you get it? I've been trying to get this brother on Kiss FM for months." And I think it was the strength of who I was with, Mosaic, and the way I asked him, and the fact it was HFM.
Yeah.
So that's what needs to happen. We need to support each other to,
Definitely.
and that's. So I said all that to say this, like the marriage needs to be closer, and then, well, that's how I see it going anyway. Like, you know, like independent, they're gonna merge and just make the whole scene stronger. That's how I feel. That's for the future of it.
Dopeness.
Outside is within. The mind regulates the hand that masters the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier still. The stargate to the mind's revealed. The vortex.